Hello viewers, it's another day on Each Right with Abuburo Nkosuah, and I'm here with the beautiful Vero to touch on the truth about gluten-free diet. Vero, kindly introduce yourself to our audience.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Veronica Nkosuah, a dietitian at 37 Military Hospital, and I'm very happy to be here today.
I'm also happy to have you. Let's dive straight into today's topic. I want to know what exactly is gluten and why has it, like everyone is talking about it now, why?
Okay. So gluten naturally is a form of a protein which is found in your wheat, your rice, and your barley. And then the specific kind of proteins that are found in your wheat, they are known as the glutenin and then the gliadin. In your rye, they are known as secalin, and then in your barley, they are known as rhodin.
Okay.
So those proteins come together to be known as polamides, and generally they are formed in our dough, which we add to our baking products to help it rise, and then also to promote, or should I say, to support with elasticity. Yes, and then the reason why it is the topic of discussion now is most of our it has led to some complications which are known as most of these gluten-related disorders, and it has also been speculated to also help with weight loss.
Weight loss?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It has been speculated that it helps with weight loss and also helps with energy metabolism as well.
Okay. Thanks for letting us know this. So now, what is gluten-free diet?
Okay. So let me hit on the fact that some of the foods that contain the gluten, we can have cakes, muffins, donuts, even our breads. We find them as part of them. They can be naturally occurring in our cereals and grains, but then also they can be added during processing.
Okay.
So that brings us to the gluten-free diet. When we say a gluten-free diet generally means a diet that is free from gluten.
Okay.
When we use the term free, we don't mean that it has nothing at all in it. It has little amounts of gluten, but then it's considered generally safe for consumption.
Okay, something that cannot cause any reaction.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we say gluten-free, mostly when you see it on food labels, we recommend that the guideline states that it should be it should contain less than 20 parts per million, which is equivalent to 20 milligrams per kilogram. So that is what is considered generally safe for consumption. So generally it's just traces of the gluten that is less harmful.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So now, who should take a gluten-free diet?
That's a very, very, very important question. Now you see, gluten is generally safe for consumption, but with people who have gluten-related disorders, we do not recommend they take gluten-rich foods. So we would recommend gluten-free diets for people with gluten-related disorders. And this gluten-related disorders, we have celiac disease. Celiac disease is also known as the gluten-sensitive enteropathy. When we say enteropathy, we are trying to say diseases of the small intestine.
Okay.
Now with celiac disease, let's take it that you are taking in a gluten food. Now your immune system might react to it and see it as a foreign particle and try to fight against it. In fighting against it, it sees as a foreign material.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, it damages your small intestine, particularly the intestinal villi. So when it damages it, it can lead to symptoms such as diarrhea, fatigue, and even bloating. And in worst case scenario, you can have chronic malnutrition. You can also have anemia as well. Now we come to the other gluten-related disorders, such as the non-celiac gluten sensitivity, also known as the gluten intolerance. With that, the symptoms are similar to that of the celiac disease, but with that one, there's no damage to the small intestine. Then we have the wheat allergy. With the wheat allergy, it's an allergic reaction to wheat. So
wheat is nice, so people are allergic to wheat.
But with such conditions, if you don't manage them very well, it can cause more problems.
Okay. So what are the key benefits of gluten-free diets?
So the key benefits of gluten-free diets, that is only for those with gluten-related disorders. So the benefit of it is that it will relieve them of some symptoms, like I mentioned. And then also when these symptoms are resolving, it can lead to healing of the small intestine. So when it heals, most of the vitamins and minerals undergo absorption in the small intestine. So immediately there's a healing in the small intestine, definitely there would be absorption of most of the nutrients. And it can aid in proper function of the body as well.
Okay, so it means those who have the gluten-related disorders are likely to be micronutrient deficient as well. That's sad.
But then we know that the benefit of it at the end of the day is they will be alleviated from the symptoms that they'll be having.
Yes.
And then at the end of the day, there can't be absorption of some of the nutrients.
Yes.
Maybe we can give it to them as supplements, but at the end of the day, they know that they will be relieved from their pain.
Yes, which is very, very important. Yes. So, are there any risks or downside to following gluten-free diets?
So, like you said, they will be deficient in most of the nutrients because these are wheat and or sometimes contain a lot of fiber. So, if they are eliminating that from their diets, they will be lacking fiber. They can be lacking iron and some of the B vitamins as well. So that's one, nutrient deficiencies. They might also have social challenges in a sense that so we can relate with our families and friends. Most of them are not, are not educated about some of these kind of conditions.
Yes.
And they might say, oh, yeah, like, what at all is it?
So
yeah. You know, mostly in SHS when we have people who are on special diets and then we are like, we just want to act that way. So
we call them DB.
Yeah. But in this case, they are having a condition that can affect their life. So on the part of the friends and families not knowing much about it, might think you are overdoing it, so they might sometimes look down on you and you feel unsupported. And then also it can bring about financial constraints in a sense that gluten-free. They are going to be eliminating gluten from the various products that they are going to be taking. So in considering that, if gluten-free foods mostly have to undergo special processing and the use of special equipment. So at the end of the day, it becomes very expensive to purchase because the cost of a gluten-free product can even cost 2 to 3 times more than the normal food. Now take it that you are in an environment where you are not exposed to a lot of such. You have to export from abroad and sometimes can add to extra costs.
Yeah.
And it can also lead to mental health problems in the sense that you don't have anyone to support you in this sense. Nobody understands what you're going through. Now mostly when people are going through stuff, they feel it's best to go online and then let people know about it. Self-awareness, make you feel important at the end of the day and get people to support you. But it can lead to anxiety, it can lead to depression.
Yeah.
In terms of the social problems too, you have a partner. You would have to be continuously explaining to your partners that you need. That is, if you are not settled yet and you're looking for a partner, you are exposed to a lot of people. You have to constantly be explaining your conditions to them and letting them know what you cannot eat, what you can eat. And sometimes it becomes a problem in the relationship. You cannot enjoy eating with your own husband.
Yes.
So yeah.
Sometimes going for weddings, funerals,
exactly,
they expect you to eat. If you don't eat, the only was man. Meanwhile, you know your issues.
So sometimes going out to become a problem.
Exactly. Okay, so now I would want us to touch on this. Why do you think gluten-free diets have become so trendy?
So it's all thanks to our celebrities, athletes, and even our influencers who go out there to publicize it without letting people know the exact reason why it's supposed to be taken. So they tend to shed more light on it, making it look like it's a quick fix solution that helps you lose weight, makes you feel thinner. They keep using certain terms that makes it sound so believable, having this quick fix solution, but then that isn't the case. Because at the end of the day, these celebrities might not even have a gluten-related disorder.
Yeah.
So that is why it's a trend, thanks to them.
Okay. So, what are the biggest misconceptions about gluten-free diets?
So one of the myths about it is gluten-free. When someone hears gluten-free, they think of carb-free. But at the end of the day, you are substituting your wheat, rye, and barley with other gluten-free options, such as your quinoa, your millet, your corn, your rice. It can be in the form of a flour or anything of that sort. By substituting them, you realize that at the end of the day, your rice, your millet, and all of that, they are also carbohydrate foods.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, it still doesn't add up as a fact. Now, the other myth about it is when you think of gluten-free, people tell you it's healthy, it's a healthier option. But it is only healthy for those with the gluten-related disorder. So please don't consider that. It is healthy for everyone to take it, but it's healthier for those with gluten-related disorders. And then also the last myth that I know about is when you hear of gluten-free, it means it helps with weight loss, which is a topic of discussion of weight. But gluten-free products have undergone processing. So at the end of the day, during processing, some sugars, some fats, and some other calories are added to the food. So at the end of the day, if you don't take care, consuming a gluten-free product can also lead to weight gain. So it is not entirely true.
I think they think it's the same as keto diet, but that would be another discussion for another episode. Yeah. So how would one know if they would have to be taking gluten-free diet? How would one know? Yes.
So first of all, you would have to go and then see a healthcare professional.
Okay.
For them, that is if you're experiencing any of the symptoms such as diarrhea, fatigue, because most of the GI conditions are often attributed to symptoms such as this. So you will have to let your healthcare provider know the symptoms you are portraying. They might recommend you do some labs for them to see further. Yes. Sometimes we need to probe further to be able to find out what exactly it could be, because maybe it may not be a gluten sensitivity. It could be any other condition as well. So one thing I would also make a mention of is nobody should self-diagnose themselves of the condition. If you experience these symptoms, it doesn't mean that that's exactly what really happening. You have to at least seek help from them, let them see what is going on. And then you would also do not abstain from the gluten you are eating, because that is what we use to be able to tell if you have a gluten related disorder. So if you feel you have those symptoms, don't stop eating your gluten. Eat if you want to be able to check if that is really true.
So what advice will you give someone who has been diagnosed?
As a newly diagnosed?
Yes, newly diagnosed.
So someone who has been newly diagnosed with gluten-related disorders, I recommend that you do your own self-monitoring, you educate your own self, read a lot about the condition, read food labels, find out hidden sources of gluten. You know there are some hidden sources of gluten that people don't know about. So communion wafers that are given at church, most of them contain gluten. So there are also gluten-free options. Your cosmetics, such as your shampoo and then your lipsticks, also contain it. Even children's plain mold clay. I don't know if you've seen the molded dough that they give to children to play. It also contains it. We also have to look out for mouthwash, our toothpaste. They also contain most of the gluten. And then also we have to look out for cross-contamination as well. Most of the restaurants or any other place where they cook foods containing gluten, most of the utensils and equipment used for treating or preparing foods that contain the gluten, they might still use that same utensils to also prepare foods for people with the gluten problem. So we have to make sure that we eliminate those sources to prevent cross-contamination.
Can you give us your takeaway to our viewers who will be considering taking a gluten-free diet?
So I would recommend that if you don't have any gluten-related disorder, as mentioned, don't go on a gluten-free diet. It will not have an effect on you.
See, as an air train, you chat to snap, so okay, me too, I'm there.
At the end of the day, you're going to miss out on some of the nutrients. Fiber is very important. Helps in your bulk of stools. It also helps with your management of your cholesterol and all of that.
And even your mental health.
Exactly. So please, if you don't have any condition of that sort, don't stop taking your protein.
Thank you so much for giving us this understanding. Viewers, please. And not train beyond I was say on you. Yes, if you think you have this condition, you don't even have to self-diagnose. Go for that testing to be sure before you start taking any gluten-free diet. And let us be understanding when we are with people who prompt us that they react to certain things. Because I think we are putting other people in trouble by the comments we pass.
We can even let them join support groups.
Exactly. Let's accept people as they are and encourage them, because for them there are so many things that they can't use beyond food. It could be toothpaste, it could be shampoo. So let's try to be open-minded with these things so that people around us can feel comfortable, so that the social interaction can at least be there. Yes. So thank you very much for staying till the end of this episode. I hope you've shared it to someone, because this is a very important topic. Kindly subscribe and also let us know more you want to hear in the comment section. It has been Eat Right with Abuburo Nkosuah. Stay tuned for the next episode.